Sorry for interrupting your broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, but this just in. LinkedIn has come out with a new policy update that limits your connection message requests to only 100 per week. According to this report here, amateur marketers are freaking out. There is chaos in the streets, and most business owners don't know where to turn in order to get more booked appointments and more deals for their business. May God help us all. So just a few weeks ago, LinkedIn came out with a new update that limited the amount of connection requests you could send out to new contacts to 100 a week. Previously, I was sending anywhere from 500 to 600 connection requests every single week, and the limit used to be based on essentially how much account activity that your LinkedIn profile had and what your acceptance rates was for your connection requests. Now, however, there is a hard stop on 100 connection requests every single week, and if you are like myself or some of my thousands of clients, that's gonna definitely throw a major wrench in your LinkedIn lead generation campaigns. For example, previously I used to generate about 20 appointments every single week doing outbound messaging on LinkedIn, and we were making millions of dollars doing it. But as soon as the update came out, everything went crashing down. And I went from doing about 20 booked appointments a week to only about 5, and I was scrambling to figure out a solution. Now, luckily for my clients and for you, I have figured out the solution. I have not seen anybody else talk about this online, and since YouTube has crowned me the LinkedIn king and the algorithm for some reason only promotes the videos that I talk about on LinkedIn, in this video I'm going to show you how you can get back to sending 500 connection requests every single week and how you can get your LinkedIn generation campaigns back up and running, or even running for the first time in the most efficient manner possible. Let's dive right in. So step number 1 is to still send out 100 connection requests every single week. This one seems obvious, but we want to make sure that no matter what, we are maxing out our LinkedIn connection requests. The easiest way that I found to do this is to use some sort of automation that connects with 100 people every single week. That way you don't have to remember to do it, and it keeps it underneath LinkedIn's threshold. Now, who exactly you should be connecting with is going to depend on what your company is and what you're offering, but I have a video I'll link down below that has over 70,000 views on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to generate leads. But the idea essentially behind it is that if we only have 100 connection requests every single week, then we want to make sure we're sending to the 100 people every single week that are the cream of the crop. I'm talking about the bee's knees here, people. So for me, it would mean filtering on LinkedIn Sales Navigator search by people that have more than, a few employees or have been in the industry for 5 to 10 years. That lets at least me assume that they're doing pretty well in business. Let's say, for example, that you're generating leads for real estate agents. Well, what you don't want to do is just type in real estate agent in the keyword box there and use your 100 connection requests for all of those people. You have no qualifiers in place in that example, and you'll end up wasting a lot of your connection messages on real estate agents that aren't really that serious, that don't take it as a real business or just fly by night. So instead, I would layer something like that with, 5 to 10 plus years of experience, have over 10 employees, and that lets you know that they're a real estate agent who's actually doing this as a full-time business, especially if they have employees underneath them. And you're going to have a much higher likely acceptance rates and even response to your welcome message if you make that one little tweak. Okay, I know. Everyone on here is like, Ravi, this is not revolutionary. This is not why I clicked on this video. So let's talk about step number 2 here. And this, my friends, is something that is super uber duper secret, and all I'm going to ask you in order to access this information is to smash the like button down below. So step number 2 is to use email addresses to add connections on LinkedIn. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn has a feature that most people don't know about where you can actually import email addresses, and LinkedIn will match that email address to a LinkedIn profile and then automatically send a connection request on your behalf. As far as I can tell, it does not take up that 100 connection message weekly limit that you have, as I've been doing 300 to 400 of these every single week. All you have to do is come into your LinkedIn homepage here, go up to My Network on the top little tab here, and you'll scroll down and you'll see Add Personal Contacts in the bottom left-hand side here. Now, most people don't know about this. All you have to do is click More Options, and you can click on email, this invite by email button right here. And then it says directly invite your email contacts to connect on LinkedIn. So you can enter the email addresses here separated by a comma. Like I said, I'm doing hundreds of these every single week. And let's just say I'm inviting Ravi@gmail.com. We can also say, James@gmail.com. And you can put hundreds and hundreds of email addresses inside of here and then click continue, and it will automatically find those people and send connection messages to the people that it matches with. Now, naturally, the next question is going to be, Ravi, where do I get these email addresses from? Well, there are dozens of websites online. We've used tools in the past such as D7 Lead Finder or Built With. You can manually scrape email addresses using Google. And finally, we can even still use LinkedIn Sales Navigator like we were before. So if you come to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you go to all filters, and let's just say we're looking for real estate agents in this example. So I'm just going to say real estate agents. Put right here, we're going to click search. Then what you're actually going to be able to do is use Google Chrome extensions to scrape these LinkedIn profiles here for their personal email address. So we're using LinkedIn Sales Navigator just like we were before to find these people. And then there's a few Google Chrome extensions that you can use that will then scrape these profiles for their email address, give it to you in a CSV, a nice little list, and then you can copy and paste it inside of this window here. There are literally hundreds of extensions that allow you to scrape personal email addresses from LinkedIn Sales Navigator searches. So I'm not going to get into it in this video, but if you do want to learn a little bit more about that, just make sure you comment down below and I'll be sure to respond back or maybe make a separate video. So we're only at step 2 and you can already get back to sending hundreds of connection requests every single week. But wait, there's more. The third super secret LinkedIn algorithm hack, update, policy change, get around, workaround is to use groups to send more messages. I briefly talked about this in my last video, but what this means is that there is currently not a cap on the number of messages you can send to group members who share the same group that you're in. So one of the first things that I did was come up here inside of your LinkedIn homepage again, go to search and type in lead generation here. And if you click enter, you can actually filter by groups in the top corner. And then you can request to join any of these groups. And once you're inside of them, I'm going to show you how you can actually send those members message requests even if you aren't already connected with them. Now you can only have about 20 group invites pending at one time, so make sure you're only choosing hyper relevant large groups for you to join. But once you actually do join them, we'll go back over to Sales Navigator here, and instead of filtering by title, if you scroll down, you'll see there's this group function here, and then I could say something like linked lead generation. It'll pull up some of the groups that I'm in, so 2.0, and then I can click search. And these are all people that I could send messages to if they were already in the same group and they don't have to be connected with me. Now, as far as what exactly to say in these messages, I'll drop down in the description below another video I've done on LinkedIn cold messaging. And you can see that for much more details, but essentially you're going to be recognizing or acknowledging the fact that you guys are in the same group and then offering your value out of your pitch. So I would say something like, hey, Ben, I saw that we were in lead generation 2.0 together. How are you enjoying the group so far? By the way, I help business to business owners scale to over $1 million in less than 12 months. Would you like to see some of our hundreds of case studies, right? So acknowledging that beginning part gets them to open it and personalize with me. And then the second part is the pitch. I'm a big fan of direct response marketing where I'm actually telling them from the beginning, I want to do business with them. And then I should be expecting about a 5 to 10% positive response or booking rate from those messages I'm sending. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the 3. I'm just kidding. I'm not done yet here, guys. I am not done yet. They don't call me Ravi LinkedIn Abuvala for nothing. So the 4th way we want to increase our messaging on LinkedIn is going to be through LinkedIn InMail. Now, with your LinkedIn Sales Navigator subscription, LinkedIn gives you about 40 InMail credits you can send every single month to your target prospects without having to connect with them. The idea behind this is exactly the same to your connection request that I talked about in step 1, but you don't want to waste those 40 InMail credits on just anybody. You want to come in here inside of LinkedIn Sales Navigator and make sure you're spending some time thinking about how many years at the current company do you want them to be in, what their title is, how many years of experience they have, where are they located, to only get the cream of the crop for the 40 messages you're sending. So once again, I'll use the example of saying real estate agent here, and then we'll come down and also make them at, more than 10 years of experience, and they have, at a company with 50 to 200 employees. We'll click search, or let's also make them in the United States. We'll click search. And then what we can do is actually send InMails right from here. You click on this, you can click message, and this is going to be a new InMail message using one of 60. Actually, there's 60 InMail credits. This is live. I'm not going to redo that. So there's 60 credits that you can use every single month, and there's going to be a subject line, and then you type your message here. Just like I talked about before, the subject line and the first few lines of your messaging should be personalized, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I get 25 and my clients get 25 to 30 booked appointments every single week using LinkedIn is because we have such open rates and such high response rates. And that's because we're using personalization at the very top. So it gets them much more likely to respond and engage with our messaging. And step number 5 for increasing the amount of messages that you can be sending every single day is going to be sending messages to your current connections. I know this one's a shocker, but most people do what I call a drive-by, which is they send the original connection request, they send the first message to them that says, hey, do you want to do business? And if they don't respond, they literally never talk to that person ever again. In reality, using the numbers that I talked about earlier, if you remember earlier when I talked about getting a 5% positive response or a booking rate from your messaging, that means that 95% of people are seeing your messaging and not responding. Instead of totally ignoring those people, what I'd like to do is come back inside of LinkedIn Sales Navigator and going under the connection level here under relationship and making them first degree connections. And in this example, there's only 13 results in this, but these are 13 people that I already am connected with on LinkedIn, and I can send them messages trying to reignite that relationship, and that'll increase the number of outbound messages I can do every single day. All right, so the sixth and final way to increase the amount of leads, booked appointments, and sales that you're getting from LinkedIn is going to be posting relevant content. Now, yes, this is not necessarily going to be sending outbound messages, but some of the best leads you can ever get are going to be warm inbound leads. And the only way you're going to get warm inbound leads is if they are connecting with, engaging, and getting value from your content you post online. That's the exact reason why I put out videos like this on YouTube every single week, is because the right people that understand and value this content are going to think, wow, if this is what I get for free, what is it like if I pay him? And then they're going to book a time in the description down below to speak with myself or my team. But on LinkedIn, we want to be doing the exact same thing. So if I come to my LinkedIn profile here, you can see that about every 90 days, I have 2,700 people coming and viewing my profile. I have 1,000 plus video views. I'm inside of hundreds of search appearances, and all of that comes from my activity. So if I come down here and click see all activity, I can click on post. And about every day or every 2 to 3 days, I am posting videos and content on LinkedIn. And then people are viewing those videos, they're getting value out of it, hopefully, and then they're deciding to click a link in my profile or send me a message, which is increasing the amount of booked appointments and sales that I'm getting from the platform. When LinkedIn made that policy change from 100 a day to 100 a week, the only thing that kept my LinkedIn lead generation campaigns alive were the inbound leads I was getting from posting content. Now, you don't have to post every single day, and it doesn't have to be a crazy amount of content, but make sure that it's valuable. Like if I go to my articles over here, you can see that I've created a very long form detailed article on how we went from $0 to $5 million in about 2 years, and people are going to get value out of this. And then if they want to, they can click the message at the very bottom and book a time to speak with myself or one of our team members. People reference this specific piece of content all the time when they get on the phone with our team, and that way I know this type of content works. Now, I want to invite you to click the link in my description down below if you do want more in-depth videos and screen shares on how to generate leads on autopilot for your business. I have a free course down below that covers the exact steps that I took to scale a company from $0 to $5 million in less than 2 years. Also, if you're watching this and you're looking to maybe make your first dollar online, I have another link in the description down below that goes over a 20-minute training on how you can make anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 a month working for my clients as remote integrators. You don't have to worry about what that means. You don't have to have any kind of previous experience, but if you're interested in that, you can click the link in the description down below. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, exactly how we're still sending hundreds of outbound messages to new prospects every single day on LinkedIn. To recap, this is exactly what I do every single day. Number 1, we send our maximum connection request limit. Number 2, we upload list of emails of our potential prospects and automatically connect with them on LinkedIn. Number 3, we join large relevant groups of our prospects and send messages to group members. Number 4, we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator in-mail credits, which you get 60 a month to send messages to our prospects there. Number 5, we show love to people already in our network as first degree connections and reignite that relationship. And number 6, we post relevant content at least once a week that engages new prospects and gets them to click the links on my profile and book a time to speak with our team. Make sure you watch the additional videos on your screen here on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator and then how to craft your cold messaging so that it actually converts. If you got value out of this video, if you wouldn't mind, please smash the like button, hitting subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.